There's a housing crisis in South Florida. Housing is so expensive. Where is the workforce going to go? Where are the teachers going to live? Where are the police going to live? Where are the firemen going to live?
Miami drama's the game. Never one and the same. Excitement and depth in every frame. Joy and journey, joy in the fame. Agata and Kinga send the fame.
Hello everybody, this is our new episode of Miami Drama and our guest is Mayor Howard.
Mayor Howard Weinberg, City of Aventura, the City of Excellence.
City of Excellence.
Why City of Excellence?
That's been our tagline since day one. This year, really next year, in 2025, we'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary. We've always been the City of Excellence, starting with the fact that our tax rate has never gone up in all 30 years. People say taxes are going up, ours never have. And it's the lowest tax rate of any city in Miami-Dade County, which is 34 municipalities, and Broward County, which is 20-something municipalities. Out of all of those, big cities, small cities, medium cities, we have the number one lowest tax rate. We're very efficient.
How you are doing this?
We don't waste money. We do not waste the taxpayers' money. I don't get a car, I don't get a pension, I don't get a big salary. Whoever runs for office in Aventura does it because they love their community and they want to make it better. Also, we have a few advantages. We have a small footprint geographically, but we're a vertical city, so we're very densely populated. So there's a lot of people in a small area paying their taxes. And then we have one other big factor. We have the greatest mall in the United States of America. We have the Aventura Mall, 3 million square feet of very high-end retail and wonderful restaurants. But I mean, I'm talking Cartier and Louis Vuitton and Tiffany, Nordstrom. I'm not talking about most malls.
Yeah.
Not only is it high-end, it's massive. So that creates a lot of revenue and we benefit. And then right in the center of our city, we have one of the nicest resorts in the country, Turnberry, the JW Marriott Turnberry Resort. So we have conventions that come there, 36 holes of golf, a water slide, great restaurant, bourbon steak. And it's right in our 3.5 square mile city. We're very lucky.
I mean, the malls keep growing as well. I mean, there's just always under construction. I see many restaurants going in. You just shared that exciting news for Aventura as well.
Yes, Italy is coming. Toku recently opened. You see the reality across the United States of malls dying. A lot of it is due to Amazon, quite frankly.
Yes.
And anything you need can be delivered the next day. Here, it's an outlier. The mall is thriving.
Right, and I noticed this. I live in Boston for many years, and in Boston, when you go to the mall, there's no good food. We go to restaurants, which is very different in here. When you can go to the mall and have a beautiful restaurant and a nice meal, which is completely something different than other states.
Yes, and so I think sometimes there's traditionally been a stigma about you want to go have some fine dining. Well, I don't want to go to the mall.
Right.
Well, here, I'll use Toku as an example.
Yes.
It's a beautiful restaurant. They literally pumped millions into it. So you can drive up and valet and be right in front. It's not you don't feel like you're walking through a mall. You have direct entry access with valet. Also, if you are coming from the mall, you can walk in from the mall, but as it gets into the evening, they close it off, and it's as if you're completely separate from the mall. You don't even realize that you're in the mall. I think it makes a huge difference.
Yes.
And then the food hall in the mall is very high end, so it's changing this stigma. It's not like a traditional food court.
Like
I'm gonna get a slice of pizza, I'm gonna get a burger. Although those options are still there, there's very nice dining and a pleasant experience and comfortable seating and entertainment. So it's not the traditional mall experience, and they're very smart about that.
Yes.
And ahead of the curve.
I agree. So we were just also curious. We want to just go a little back and ask you why you become a politician. Where does passion start, and why Aventura?
It's actually pretty fascinating, at least to me,
Okay.
and maybe not to your viewers, but to me, sometimes it's funny how life goes full circle, right? But in my case, so I've always been interested in serving my community. I mean, from when I grew up in Connecticut, and my mom would have me ring doorbells to collect donations, $1 donation to give to the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation. Whatever it was, I learned about giving back. And before I went to law school, I went to the University of Miami for my business degree. Then I went to Georgetown University for a master's degree in government. And then I went to Boston University for my law degree. So 9 years of college, 3 degrees. I'm highly overeducated, but I always had an interest in government. And I always believe that you make the biggest impact with local government, because that's really where the rubber hits the road, quite frankly. But I was practicing law, and my wife and I were trying to have a family, and we had some setbacks, and we went to Siberia and rescued a baby. He was 10 and a half months old when we brought him home from an orphanage in Novokuznetsk in the Kemerovo region, a 4-hour flight from Moscow, literally the middle of nowhere, the coldest place on earth. And after we brought him home, shortly thereafter, my wife gave birth to twins. So we went from 0 to 3 in 18 months. We had 3 in diapers, 3 babies in cribs. We felt super blessed, could not be happier. But I saw some things in our small town, and it wasn't Aventura. It was about 7 miles down the road, and it didn't seem right to me. And I said, as a new dad, not in my town. And I started going to the meetings, and I started being one of those people that speaks up, and one of those people that they don't want to see in their meetings because I'm calling out the truth. And I decided I'm taking over and I'm running for office. And it was a very, very rough go of it. We had some situations, in fact, there were police officers that were going to try to take me down on a fake DUI, driving under the influence, out of our local Flanagans. They had no idea that I had a policy. I don't drink anyway, but I had a strict policy of never even having a beer in my community. So I would go to that location and drink regular unsweetened iced tea. But I just called the place headquarters. It was a very family friendly. I literally raised my children there from high chair to booster seat to now my oldest is old enough to legally sit at the bar. But it was very family friendly, but because I was calling them out
You were moving forward.
and exposing their wrongdoing, but I rang every doorbell, and I was elected, and I realized, you know what? I'm really good at this stuff. And I became the vice mayor of that community. And then, after serving 2 terms and completely cleaning up, new elected officials, new police chief, new city attorney, new city manager, new everything, got rid of all the bad. I moved to Aventura, and actually, I mean, the reality is my wife and I got divorced. We raised the kids together. We're still very good friends. In fact, I just came from there because our daughter just got home from a semester overseas, and we co-parent, and we're very, very close. The irony is I moved to Aventura, and her family, the family that are my in-laws, her family designed all of the buildings in Aventura since the 70s. It's the craziest thing. Don Sofer, the founder of Aventura, hired my father-in-law in the 70s. I was in Connecticut. And in our small 3.5 square miles, there are 199 buildings standing. 199 of our buildings were designed by him. well more than half of our population live in a building designed by him. So I said, I'm moving to Aventura.
And also, I don't think people know. Aventura was a swamp. There was nothing to it. There was a big development back in the day. I remember.
And he did this. Sofer family did an amazing job. They started with the golf course, they started with the mall, and they built around it residential. And it's a beautifully designed city. And we have a fitness trail 3 miles which goes around the golf course. It's just a beautiful city. So when I moved here and I said, I'm good at running cities, and somehow people like me and they vote for me, and I came here and I ran for the city commission and I won. And at that time, I gave the key to the city to my former father-in-law because he is Aventura's architect. I was very happy to recognize him, and everyone agreed that it's well-deserved. So after serving for 8 years on the commission, pretty much myself and everybody else knew I should be the next mayor. And I'm very close with the former mayor, but everybody knew that with the things that I had done, with my aggressive agenda of getting new things done, we mentioned the freebie, we built a high school for the first time, so many different things that we got done, many of which were items that I was very passion projects for me. And at the end of the day, when the filing period ended for candidates, there was nobody left except for me, because everybody knew that I'm the best qualified. So it's really very humbling and very wonderful that the entire community knew what the best thing is for our city. We're not like other cities. We don't have this side and this side. We don't have wars. We don't have name calling. We don't have negative campaigns. Very little of that. We work together. If we have disagreements, it's done respectfully, because someone thinks very rationally what's best is different than what someone else thinks very rationally is what's best. It's not like you point fingers and say you're corrupt. That's why our taxes are so low, because nobody's here to steal. Nobody's here for themselves. My commission are amazing people, which, we have the mayor and 6 commissioners. We all have 1 vote. And we work together. It's wonderful. You see when you walk around City Hall, there's not like a tension in other communities.
It's all about the people.
So you're a leader. You understand how to bring the right people to the right places.
I believe that that's one of my skills.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yes. I actually, it's funny. I sent out a WhatsApp to a group today with a picture of myself and my daughter, because from last night when she returned, and I said, there's very few things I enjoy more than mayoring. I think I made up a verb. Very few things I enjoy more than mayoring. Parenting is one of them. And so I feel like I'm a parent to our city,
Do you think would you say that running a city is like running a business?
Well, that's my philosophy, yes, because I come from the private sector.
Okay.
And I believe in efficiencies, and I believe in getting results, not making excuses.
Not waste time.
So sometimes in the public sector, things are different. People just go along to get along. I come in with and I work for a big technology company, and I can't make excuses if I don't get something done. And I feel like the city should be the same way. So Aventura actually is different than most municipalities. We run it like a business, and we contract out most of our services. So we don't have a lot of employees.
Okay.
We contract it out. So our landscaping, we put that out to bid. Our building department, if you go downstairs and want to pull a permit, you'll see people down there at the desk who work with you who are not employees.
Oh, wow.
They work for a private company that we selected to do the job. Now, if those people are a problem, we just tell them that person should not come back here.
So from your experience, this is more cost effective?
100%. 100%. I'm convinced 100%. It's not 100% less cost, but I don't mean that. But absolutely is what I mean. It is more cost effective. There is less waste. We're not paying the payroll costs on those people, the Social Security and the unemployment and the pensions. We're not responsible for that. We contract, we reach a financial arrangement, and we put it out to bid.
Right.
Doesn't mean we have to take the lowest bid, but it means we're going to save money 99% of the time. Now we have our biggest group of employees is our police officers, of course. They are our employees. And we have great police officers, and we back the blue. We support our police. Our schools, the teachers in our charter schools, again, not our employees. We contract that out to a charter school company. We agree on financial terms, and they have to deliver us highly rated, highly successful schools where our kids go to the best colleges. It's a much more efficient model, and it's running like a business. If they don't do the job,
Right.
they'll be replaced.
Well, I'm also a business owner, and actually I do the same thing. It was a big change because we're not used to do that. We have a tracking division in my company, but I decided to outsource because it's better.
Yeah.
It costs us less money and less stress, and the energy. I don't have to control these people in a sense that manage them. I can put my focus somewhere else. So that's beautiful. I mean.
And I'm taking it to the next level. So I'm a big believer in P3.
Okay.
Public-private partnerships. Okay, the private sector does things better in many times in many ways. So we have developers that want to build in our city, of course. So I had a concept. It actually came to me in my overactive mind while I was sleeping. I was not the mayor yet, but I knew I was going to be. And I woke up, and I always have to have paper and pen, old school, next to my bed, because I can't go back to sleep unless I write it down. I can't risk losing the idea, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing.
I called it Hero Housing, okay? And the concept is, so first of all, let me say this. There's a housing crisis in South Florida. Housing is so expensive. Where is the workforce going to go? Where are the teachers going to live? Where are the police going to live? Where are the firemen going to live? They're being priced out. It's very difficult for them to find a place to live and raise their family. So that's called workforce housing or affordable housing. I had a slightly different concept. Again, we're only 3.5 square miles. My concern is my city. Okay, I'm not the county mayor, even though I love her and we're good friends, but she's concerned over 34 municipalities. I have one concern, Aventura. I want the best police officers here, and I want the best teachers here. Even though the teachers are not our employees, we want the best ones. So it's a very competitive market, especially today. Police, recruitment, very difficult. Teacher recruitment, very difficult. Then you've got the retention. I call it R&R.
Why is it very difficult? Can you explain to the viewers?
Sure. So with police, first of all, the talent pool has shrunk. No one wants to be a cop. When I say no one, I don't mean literally no one, but less and less people, because what's happened? Watch the news. They're getting a very bad rap. Some of it is well deserved, but someone that wants to serve their community as a police officer, people are angry at them. They have tremendous stress, high suicide rates, high divorce rates, domestic violence because of the stress. So they're choosing other careers. With teachers, same thing is happening. No one wants to be a teacher. Kids don't respect them the same way. They're not allowed to teach the way they used to. The pay is ridiculously low.
The pay is insane. I mean, I don't even know how they can survive.
Exactly. So, instead of R&R, instead of being rest and relaxation, to me it's recruitment and retention. So what I came up with, my Hero Housing, I then drove to Coconut Grove to meet with George Perez, the CEO of Related Group, the largest condominium developers in the country. I knew they had 4.5 acres and they were going to do a project in Aventura. They hadn't submitted it yet, but it was well known. And I went to him, I never met him before. And I said, I have this idea. Hero housing. Not based on income. It's a job perk. You got a pension, you got a salary, you got vacation days, you have health insurance, you have housing. It's gonna be not affordable housing, as the term is known, affordable or workforce. This is gonna be luxury. It's gonna be the same units as the rest of the building that you build, with the granite countertops and the beautiful amenities and the valet parking and the pool. It's gonna be a gorgeous condo that people are paying a lot of money for. But a certain number of them are gonna be set aside for Aventura's police and Aventura's teachers at 50% of the market rate. So they're gonna get half price so they can afford to live, walk to school, ride their bike to school, walk to the police department. And in exchange for that, this is the P3 part, you're gonna be allowed to build more units than the zoning allows. So you're gonna get to make your money. We're gonna get the best teachers
And police officers.
and police officers. We're all gonna be winners. That's a perfect P3 when it's a win-win. So George Perez, being a very magnanimous person, you may know the George Perez Art Museum. He donates tens of millions of dollars philanthropically. He is a esteemed member of the South Florida community, always willing to put his money where his mouth is and help. He said, great idea. So it's happening. It's going to end up being replicated everywhere. I know. This is something I'm so proud
It was
of.
fast. No, I'm literally.
The first one we're starting, he's going to build, probably going to be called, not necessarily, but probably Icon Aventura. There's already Icon South Beach and Icon Brickell. He'll build a beautiful building. It's on 191 Street. And 20 of those units will be at 50% of the market. So what happens is it's 1 year lease. If you continue to teach at our school, you can renew your lease. If you continue to be a police officer in Aventura, you renew the lease for another year. If you take a job with the Broward Sheriff's Office or you take a job at a private school in Fort Lauderdale, we'll wish you well, but you can't stay there.
Right.
When your
Yeah,
lease
of
is up.
course.
An agreement, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to work beautifully. It hasn't rolled out yet. They're actually building the sales center. I literally spoke to him at 10:30 last night, and they're building the sales center. As soon as they get, as every project, 40% pre-sale. This is not the part about the teachers or the police. 40% of people who are paying full price.
Yeah.
As soon as they get 40%, they're going to start building.
I think I'm perfect on the ground.
So
So approximately when it will be?
I wish I knew, but I'm hoping that they'll break ground before this year is over. So it's not going to help for the coming school year, but I hope the one after that. And my plan is to build another school in Aventura.
Yes, we want to ask you about it too.
So we're going to need more hero housing.
Right.
So very proud. We opened a high school. We've had a K through 8 for 20 years called ACES. It stands for Aventura City of Excellence School. 5 years ago, we opened a high school, Don Sofer, named after Don Sofer, the founder. Don Sofer High
Yeah,
School.
but super hard it's, put your child there because you need to have a 2 years address in Aventura before.
So you have
And it's a lottery too.
Yeah,
You
so-
have to. That's why I need a new school. It's my
Exactly.
number one thing. If you watch the YouTube of my swearing in speech, number one priority is a new school. Because here's what happens: everybody wants to be a part of it. We're victims of our own success. We created such a wonderful school that all the moms, and I know there's dads too. I am one, but I give the credit to the moms. They want their kids in our schools. So there's not enough room. The real estate agents in the community are selling Aventura to the young families. And one of the things they say is amazing schools, great schools, it's all free. Charter schools are free. They never say, by the way, little Jimmy only has a 38% chance of winning the lottery.
Right.
That's the reality, 38% chance. So basically, Jimmy ain't getting into the school when you move here. I want to change that dynamic. It's not fair, and it's heartbreaking. Every year we do the lottery, and I get the calls from the moms who live next door to Aces, and they see the kids going to school, and their kid can't go there. Now, the other options of the public schools are still very good schools just outside of Aventura. They want to walk their kid to school. Anyway, I want to take our K through 8 and split it into an elementary school and middle school. So we'll have 3 schools with the high school, and we will be able to take between 1,000 and 1,200 kids right off the waiting list. It still will be tough, but the odds will go up to over 80% instead of 38%. And I think it's our obligation to do that.
I agree.
We've got to give moms more chance to get their kids into our schools. So I've been negotiating for several acres of land. Again, public-private partnership. We don't own land, the city. We own the land where our parks are, which we're not building on. We own the land where City Hall is that we're sitting in. And we own the land where our performing arts centers and our schools. But we don't have land to build on. We have to acquire. It's very expensive. I am, just like my hero housing, negotiating for a few acres of land, which will allow us to build a beautiful new school in exchange for giving more development rights to that. The land will be deeded to us at zero expense. We're talking about $30 or $50 million worth of land given to us in exchange for us providing them with something. And then we will have the expense of the physical construction of the school. But we have the money, and we're going to do it.
I would like to just say that, schooling in Florida is a difficult period. A lot of people have been moving here from all around the world actually now, not even
Yes.
United States. And as a young mom, I had a really difficult time finding school for my son too. So I feel like we're building a lot. We're bringing a lot of people, but we're not taking care of the school system.
Yeah.
There is a need for it for sure.
I will say this. I want to give credit to Miami-Dade County Public Schools. It's the 3rd largest school system in the nation, behind New York and LA. 3rd largest. And no one has the kind of difficulties they have with the number of different languages spoken by the immigrants coming in. And they're required to provide a place to learn for all of them. Imagine the teachers. Every year, a new wave of immigrants. It could be Creole, could be from Europe, could be from Ukraine.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It depends on world events, but people always migrate to South Florida. So, in my case, remember I had 3 babies.
Yeah.
So as they grew, there was a time when I had 3 children in 3 different high schools.
Oh.
All part of Dade County Public Schools. I didn't pay a dime for any of them to get an amazing education. So I had a son, the one that we brought home from Russia. He was at Beach High, Miami Beach High School, a traditional high school, which is what he wanted. My other son was at iPrep, a special magnet program for highly motivated, self-starting, ambitious students. Fantastic
Yes.
program. iPrep, the original one in downtown Miami. And my daughter was at Dash in the design district for artistically gifted students.
Wow.
The 3 of them,
Crazy.
and God bless their mom, because it was really on her to get them all to school every morning, right? That part's not easy, but they all thrived. And right now, they're all doing exactly what they're passionate about. My older son is doing the sound engineering for outdoor music festivals, which is what he always wanted to do. My other son right now is doing investment banking on Wall Street in New York. And my daughter is a fashion design major in New York City and in London. This is exactly what they wanted to be doing. And it was Dade County Public Schools, so I can only give them credit. it's a very difficult challenge with our school system, and especially finding the right fit for each child. I agree with you.
Wow, it's incredible. So tell us more. So we know the schools are coming. We have a hero housing. What else on the agenda?
So we literally just finished our new park improvements where we now have pickleball
Okay.
and 5 beautiful pickleball courts with, most importantly, completely covered with a shade canopy.
Oh wow.
20 degree difference in the middle of the summer. People are loving it. We also built 3 new tennis courts. We have 50 community gardens where you reserve a garden bed for yourself to grow your own vegetables, because in condominiums you don't really have a backyard. So you go there and it's a whole communal thing, because you see the different kids and the different moms that come there to grow their vegetables, and they have a nice community with their own group chats and all that. So that just reopened after 18 months or so of construction, and it's really nice. We are building a beautiful outdoor basketball court now with 6 hoops. You can have a few full court games or 6 half court games, and it's going to be very nice. It's something that we lost when we built our high school and took the outdoor basketball and built the gymnasium around it.
Okay.
But we're bringing that back. We have a lot of stuff coming. More robust marine patrol. We're going to put another boat in the water, keep people even safer. And this, as I said, our 30th anniversary is coming up, so we're going to have some really fun, nice celebrations this year. But there's a lot of nice projects on the horizon.
So, I mean, when do you do all of this? Do you even sleep?
Oh, if you follow my Instagram, you know that no, sleep is not an option. No, in fact,
It's not an option. I love it.
I'm getting on the Brightline train after
Right.
this, literally to
Yes.
go to our charter school annual conference in Orlando for 2 days right now.
Right.
But I knew what the job was when I took it.
Right. You know,
I love
and when I met you too, what I really like about your personality, you just go with the flow, like, let's go, let's do it. You are very open-minded. I don't see any fear. You're like, you know what, you just, I feel like if somebody has an idea, you would listen to them. And, but I would like to know what you're doing is, I mean, I know you have no spare time, but what are your hobbies besides giving back? Because that's what you do. You add a lot of value to a community.
Sports or whatever.
So first of all, now that my kids are all away at college and stuff, when they're back, that's what I like to do, spend time with them. Like I told you, my daughter came in, went to see her last night. She made me crepes that she learned in the south of France this summer how to make. And then this morning, I got her set up with tennis lessons. So I was over at the tennis court with my daughter, with the Aventura's Tennis Pro. I'll see my 2 boys at the big football game in Gainesville, University of Miami versus University of Florida. The 3 of us will be together. I am addicted to pickleball.
Okay.
And because I love sports. And so before COVID, I was playing in our softball league. During COVID, I discovered pickleball and I never went back. And I'm pretty much addicted to it.
Okay.
And not to sound like too much of a jerk, but I'm really very, very good. I grew up as a tennis player and I'm really good now at pickleball. So I love it, especially when it's really hot out. It's a great workout. Also, most mornings, if I don't have a meeting early, I put on a weight vest and weight gloves and I walk several miles. I go to Moe's, our local deli. I have my decaf coffee and then I walk back, sometimes running the steps here at City Hall, back and forth, like Rocky, if I'm really motivated. So I like outdoors, I like sports, and I'm passionate about college football. I like to go to the different stadiums around the country and experience college football weekends at the different schools.
very neat.
The most recent one was the Michigan State game at the University of Michigan, which is the largest stadium in the country. 108,000, I think there were 111,000 people at the game. I've done Ohio State, I've done Florida State, of course I've done Florida. I've gone to the Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl.
Wow. You're always on the go.
It's a lot of fun.
Busy.
Yes, very little downtime. And on top of it all, I'm a political junkie. So I watch the talking heads and the Sunday morning shows and all that. Just as an aside, I guess it's kind of funny, maybe people think it's sad, but so someone will say to me all the time, how is a guy like you single, or how are you not remarried or something? And then I always say, well, I have to be honest with you, I have 2 TVs in my bedroom because I'm watching CNN and Fox, or I'm watching the University of Florida and the University of Miami football games or whatever. I'm like, that, I couldn't have never gotten away with that when I was married. You know, I couldn't have any TV in my room when I was married. So I just make a joke about it, but
So single, too busy to date? Or just...
No, I love to date. Let's put that out there. Love to date.
But not getting married.
But I've never got remarried. I've been divorced for about 15 years, and it's been, I tell people I'm married to my community.
Right.
I'm married to being the best father for my kids. And it's actually true. Like it's not just like a line, but believe me, if I'm open to falling in love and I never say no to anything, but I have so many friends who are on their 3rd one or their 4th one. And I figured, what's the point? What is the point? Why not be open to anything, but not feel like you have to? Because then you end up with the wrong person.
Agree.
So,
But I mean, but a lot of people, I feel like they don't love themselves first, and then they seek that somewhere else, which cause the 3rd or 4th or whatever. You know?
oh, I think that's so smart. That's brilliant. Yes, we all know you have to love yourself first before you can actually love anyone else.
But it goes deeper than
And
that.
yes, if you have your own, you don't like to look in the mirror. You don't like to do so you're casting it out on someone else, and want them to be what you're missing or something. I think you're probably right.
Yeah, and also there's more to it. There's more that we love these people the way we want to love. We have to learn how to love these people how they are. Acceptance. That's what I would say. But you know, Miami can be difficult for dating, right?
yeah,
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of,
So in my position, okay, you'll never find me on a dating app.
Right.
You'll never find me at any place that could be deemed inappropriate.
Right.
You can go all the way through my online. You'll never see me with a drink in my hand.
Right.
So I'm very, very careful.
Right.
But I have a very simple philosophy. I try to do modeling for my children. So I want my daughter to see how I treat her mom and how I treat women, because that's the way I want her to demand that men treat her. And I want my boys to see how to respect a woman. So for the most part, I think I succeed. You'll imagine South Florida, a mayor, single, and yet not one hint of drama. Nothing. I'm so careful.
So no Miami drama.
no Miami drama.
No Miami drama. Sorry, I'm on the wrong podcast. but I really, it's very important to me, and I'd probably feel differently if I didn't have children. You know.
I mean, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed what people do on the dating apps, but that's not something for me either. I feel like meeting people organically and maybe working on yourself. Sometimes the dating apps and even social media can be very destructive. You know, people look for destruction. They don't want to really find themselves. So it's swipe, 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 instead of digging deep.
So it's so fascinating, yeah. And I hear stories, right? And I love, I'll be honest, I love hearing the dating stories from other people, right? I don't have dramatic fails or anything like that, you know, because I'm not putting myself out there like that. But I am fortunate enough that you can see over here, this is my ribbon cutting pole. Every time a new business opens in Aventura that joins our chamber, from Brito to Brightline to the Nike store to the beautiful restaurants, I cut the ribbon, I give a speech, and I welcome them to our community. Then for good luck, I have them sign it and I hang it here. and I meet wonderful people. And I feel so fortunate. I love people, and I love the fact that when they come to our community, I get to meet them. It's really
Beautiful.
fortunate.
Yeah, what would you say to younger yourself when you were young? For all your experience.
Wow. Such a great question. I should be asking myself that all the time. That is a really great question. I think I would tell myself, because I'm still telling myself, don't overthink everything. And some things are not in your control. And I would have saved so much energy of worrying about things that I can't change the outcome anyway. But I think as I try to look in the mirror and examine myself and be introspective, I think that I am an overanalyzer and an overthinker. And sometimes it's a benefit, right? Like a certain level is good, like waking up and writing down the hero housing idea. But other times, if I could just have taught myself as a young person to meditate and turn it off, hit the switch and just
be more present and enjoy.
Oh, yes.
Enjoy the process, right?
Absolutely. And you see it when you have kids and now they're gone. Like what I say to their mom all the time, we had 3 babies. Where are they? You know, where are the babies? It's so fast, but I did try to be present with them there, but it's so natural that you take it for granted.
It's beautiful. Right.
But during they grow up, you were with them, or you were like most of the time outside of the home?
Most of the time, we divorced when they were very young, but we shared them. We're only 7 miles apart. And to this day, Thanksgiving we do together. Together, I go to the house that was the marital house where their mom is, where their bedrooms are, where they grew up. Like I said, I was there yesterday. She made me crepes. That's there in her mom's house. We do Thanksgiving together. We do Passover Seder together. We do all their birthdays together. We do Parents' Weekend at college together. So I wasn't in the house, but we shared them. They came to me. We rotated weekends and all that. So anything, if they had a school play. And the beautiful thing is it's clicked where they've said to us, wow, we're so lucky that we have 2 parents that raise us together, that get along. We have friends whose parents never divorced and they're at each other's throats. We're so lucky. And when I was sworn in, my speech, of course my kids were there, but she was there, both of her brothers and both of her parents. They were all there because it's still family. So I wasn't sleeping in that house, but we shared them.
But you were there.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I give people the anecdote. Always, if I'm passing through, if I have to go to Miami or something and I'm passing through near where the house is, I'll just go. I don't call her or anything. So, and I walk in and so many times I've been on the phone like, hey, I'm at the house. I'm telling her, I'm dropping off such and such or such and such for, one of the kids. And she'll say something like, okay, go upstairs and see if Adam cleaned his room, please. So it's not like, what are you doing in my house or whatever. It's like,
that's beautiful.
So
it's possible.
It's real co-parenting.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what I try to tell people who are going through it. You're still co-parents.
Yeah.
And you still love that person, not love now, but you chose that person to parent children with. Don't badmouth them.
No.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I try to inspire divorced couples to respect each other.
It's not so easy.
By the way, it takes 2.
Yeah.
So if one is just a bad person, you can't.
Yeah.
It takes both.
Yeah, it's about the right people.
Yeah. So that was, beautiful. Thank you so much for your
My
time.
pleasure.
We had
That was fun.
Miami drama's the game. Never one and the same. Excitement and depth in every frame. Joy, journey, joy in the fame. Agata and Kinga set in the flame.